Hi. This week I'm calling it Make It Normal, and then next. So all these shares have as their undercurrent a continual sense of sovereignty. Source, direct connection. Everything underneath that is man and mind. And it's both extraordinary and horrifying what that has produced. But to be in that place of sovereignty and to truly have a sense of that, regardless of what's going on, is very much the theme that this is continuing to look at. So last week, it was very much the thickets. And you know, you can imagine a thicket and hacking and hacking and hacking, feeling you're never, ever going to get out of it, only to find you end up in the woods. And then you can see you're going to be out of it, and in seeing you're going to be out of it, you're as good as out of it. And the freedom and expression that comes out of that. So the sessions this week were very much to do with a being who truly lives her spirit in that way, totally always reaching for the best possible to be of service and of delight for others. Yet to do that on a daily basis, this is very much the earthly experience. And yet, this produces such excellence. So the session there was to actually go, I'm going to make that normal. That is the norm. And the reason that wasn't heard is because organisations running this are always pushing for more, wanted to pay less and push more. Meanwhile, this excellence was coming out. But they're not going to tell this being that, because they feel that this will drive them. Always keep talking about what isn't right yet. And it's when you finally get who you are that you can see the behaviour and you can see yourself over the many years how well you have done. Because it's gradual, we almost don't see it. And if we don't see it, we always throw things further away, more, whatever that is, rather than how knowing I'm good, knowing I'm very good. And there's no doubt about that anymore. How will I do that today? And make it normal. That is without a doubt how I live and what I do. And turn down the noise. Turn down the noise. The noise is not going to go away. The world is very noisy at the moment. But the way you're interacting with your loved ones, with the people you collaborate with, or whatever you are doing by yourself, it's really in this field of sovereignty where you are moving into the best you can be. And even if doing nothing, the extraordinariness of the sense of that. So another aspect that showed up about this was a being who was feeling heavy. Things didn't feel normal. And what had happened was, in noticing the annoyances during the day, the tiredness during the day. Hello, we're 88. You know, not that that is any reason to be feeling like this. But it started that way because life in the past was so flowing with so many things to be able to achieve that it started to feel not okay. That now I do part of it, then I have to rest, and then I finish it, and then I rest, and then I clean up. But that it happened still happened. But the process of the mind dragged the energy down to the extent that she was living in this energy down here. And this is the thickets, the thickets that go on in the mind of what's possible and impossible. When in fact what she does is excellent. She loves cooking and people just adore what she cooks. And therefore she desires to do it because she wants to give it to these people who tell her nobody else does it like you. But to be able to view it going forward, that I can see that I will do it. I can see that I will do it. There'll be bits and pieces in between where I might rest, but that's just part of the deal. And her energy started to again encompass her physical self rather than this heaviness that pulled her into the tiredness. So again, the thickets of the mind, expecting to feel half your age, and some people do feel half their age, and physically and mentally and spiritually. So it's what happens here in how you see it, and that the bumps in the road are just bumps in the road, but you can see where you're going. So the bumps in the road are not that big a deal. You make it normal, and in making it normal rather than complaining about it, the energy stays up because there's no way you're not going to get there. Another was very interesting. The thickets can be very much to do with how you see the situation according to comparing it with how others behave or how others react. And this happened with two that I saw, their way of being is, we would say, off the Richter scale. And when you're off the Richter scale, it's a very lonely place. And in that lonely place, you can lose heart because the gap between how you see it and what the world is doing, or those you associate with are doing, it can be too much. And again, in making it normal, which it is for those beings, for many beings, you can then be in that place and be okay with how you see it. And then, in interacting with others, you meet where you can meet. So, no matter where we stand, no matter what we do, whether it's a garden, whether it's assisting someone, there is always next. Even with having a car serviced, there'll be a point where it's next. It will go on in that process. It's not like there is a literal end process to this field. But there is a way of seeing, with the experience and where you are at, that this is not new to you. You're not going to be listening to this if you're a 5-year-old. They're still gathering information of their capacity that they can use the next time something comes along. Well, over the decades, that expands exponentially. So with that, there are no thickets. We're not in the woods. And we can see the full expression if we look at it in a way that makes the journey smoother. A smoothness arrives, a seeing arrives, an okayness arrives with wherever anyone is, because that's where we meet. Then it's not upsetting that others can or cannot see it. It's all perfect. A 5-year-old cannot see what we're talking about, or maybe they can. I'm sure some can. So it's about next. The cards were evidence and gentleness. No jumping to conclusions. See what is as is. Allow every new situation to be unblemished by you. Your experiences of the past may colour how you see what's going on now. Let today's evidence speak for itself. In the clear light of a new awareness. There are always indications to guide you towards the easiest path. See the evidence and clues that surround you. And the clues are, you've done this before. It always works out. And if it doesn't, that's fine also. We keep going in the next thing. The next. Gentleness. Be gentle with yourself and others. Let go of those harsh judgments or comparisons. Tread gently upon the earth with a reverence for life. Spend some time surrounded by nature and feel the gentle flow of growth around and within you. It is not to be forced, but gently nurtured and allowed. Gentleness is strength. Feel its awesome power. So, to live in that expression continuously, in the energy of what that is, in the opportunity of being and expressing self. It's awesome. I'm trying to push stop recording. See you next week.